Hi, everyone. I am absolutely delighted to have as this month's inspirational woman the incredible athlete, Amber Brine. Welcome, Amber. We have cornered you at last.
Yeah, finally.
Finally. Well, I was reflecting on how I start all my interviews with this when we first met. And I wanted to ask you, can you remember where we first met?
Well, one of the bodybuilding shows back in 2018 would be my very first
Yeah,
nationals for WFF.
yeah. And for me, was that my third show?
Mm. That would have
And
been my third show as well,
oh,
actually.
really?
Oh,
Oh,
no, sorry. My third WIF show. I had done two NABBA shows earlier on a few years before that.
yeah. And that was quite an interesting experience for me personally because we were both being trained by the same coach. And it was that really, she really pushed the team focus. And I can remember being on stage. I think you'd gone back. We were doing a team photo, and we all ended up on stage for a team photo. And I just thought, this is great. This is really, really special to be around these incredible women. And little did I know that you and I were going to go on and meet again on and off over the years. And I guess one thing that's really hit me in getting to know you is the fact that you've had past experience not only in competing and the early bikini comps that you did, but you were a photographer, a professional photographer for a number of years. And when I say a number of years, I think it was a decade.
Yeah, yeah, 10,
Yeah,
10, 12 years. Did a degree in visual imaging before that when I was like 22.
yeah. And what was was it wedding? Am I right? You were a wedding photographer?
Well, I did a lot of things. Weddings was my main passion, so
Mm.
was really busy with those, and that was a big focus of mine. But I also did a lot of family portraiture and babies, and I did glamour shoots as well, which
Oh,
is kind of similar, leading on to like the fitness style shoots too. So I had my own purpose built studio and. It also like travelled around like Wellington, Hawke's Bay, Taranaki, Auckland, and did like that's how I was also always so booked out with weddings, because I made sure that I advertised New Zealand wide. So yeah, that was a really awesome experience and did that for a very long time.
yeah, yeah. And something else that intrigues me because being a photographer, obviously you have got an eye for detail, you've got an eye for layout and stuff like that. Can you talk us through how you feel being a photographer has supported you in your pretty extreme change of direction?
Well, definitely had me focused on, I guess, what you just said, the eye for detail, the um, trying to have things absolutely perfect. The posing side of things, I was very very experienced with that because very important. How you'd set up the couples and the families and stuff, to making the photo look natural, and also I think being able to interact with like a range of different people as well,
Mm,
and that customer service
mm,
aspect too, and just getting to know people and what they want, and all of that side of things was really really valuable. And also I was doing this all myself, so
mm.
being self-employed, I was doing all of my own social media marketing, and I ended up creating my own website as well. And I learned to I learned by taking action and seeing what worked and what didn't, and making business plans. And I mean, we had advertising, and editing and stuff is all part of the degree that I did as well. So that all kind of rolls on to how I can promote myself now in this job. So it all kind of just goes together.
Yeah. Invaluable groundwork. And I'm thinking something that you mentioned there about, the customer service, and now with your business now, which is dealing with a range of people. Um, Something else that I was thinking with the photography that would be really important is putting people at ease, because people are usually pretty stressed out when they're having their food.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They definitely are. It's quite hard to make people feel relaxed for photos. So yeah, definitely learned a lot about that. And but the customer service thing actually started like a lot earlier. Like I've always worked in customer service roles. I
Wow.
worked in like BP service stations since I was like 16 years old,
Yeah.
making coffee, worked in gift shops, worked in KFC, all of that stuff. So um yeah.
You've paid your dues.
Yeah, yeah.
But
It
isn't
all
it funny?
adds up.
Well, it does add up. But I love that you said, yeah, you worked in BP, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and I loved that job. I loved
yeah,
working on the forecourt. I
yeah,
can remember I'd be filling up cars because I this was at a locally owned BP station, and he liked us to go and fill up the cars personally and wash the windscreen and check the oil.
yeah,
So you'd be out there and you'd be just talking to all the customers, and I really enjoyed that part as well. And I can something else that's kind of more related to fitness, but when I was first starting to get into being interested in fitness, I would fill up the cars and like do like calf raises, as many calf raises as I could, like on the edge of the concrete.
yeah,
Um, yeah,
yeah.
so that all adds up as well.
It does. It does. Multitasking.
Yeah,
But it's funny how often, and I think it's brilliant you've brought it up, people don't value that sort of opportunity, and how you made the most of, a
mm,
pretty so-so job, and you can gain so much from that.
yeah.
I love that.
Well,
Yeah.
I remember like people would say to me, what's someone like you doing working here? Like some of the customers, and it's like, excuse me. And it
Yeah.
was like, I had good relationships with the other people who were working there. Like, what is that supposed to mean? Like,
Mhm.
people shouldn't be valued for whatever like rank they are in their jobs. So I didn't mind working any sorts of level of jobs. I used to be the school cleaner. I used to clean the toilets.
Oh,
Used to do babysitting. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
So, what I'm getting now, and this is interesting as well, because you and I have talked, I have said to you, for example, what you're doing is absolutely exceptional. So few people reach the level of training and experience that you have attained. Why is that? And I know now because you have a work ethic, and you're not ashamed, or you're not scared of getting stuck in and doing the hard yards. And I think that's absolute gold, because that gives us a window into what does it take to get where you are today. Because, some people listening to this aren't going to know, your achievements. And probably the most excited I've been about somebody that I know was last year, right? So talk us through that achievement, because I'm probably going to label it incorrectly. Pro Figure Universe Champion 2025.
yep. Sounds labeled about right.
Sounds about right. And
Yeah,
pretty huge, pretty huge. And looking back now, even talking about that early experience and that early working in a BP, What do you reckon? How does that sound in the same sentence? I started in BP and I ended up as a pro figure champion in 2025.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you just don't know where life's going to take you.
No.
You just put one step in front of the other. And
Yeah.
one thing that I knew is I just wanted to do something that I enjoyed. So,
Mm,
like when you're going through high school, like often it's, you have to do your maths and your science and do this and do that. And
mm,
this is what you have to do to get ahead.
mm,
And I guess I've never really um, valued that much. I've always just been like, I just want to follow my heart. I don't want to ever do a job that I don't love. If I don't love it, then I'm going to go do something else.
mm,
Yeah, it was hard for me to step away from the photography when I did, because I came to, really love the coaching side of things and getting into the bodybuilding life. But it was a kind of more of a decision at that stage that, um, yeah, what did I want to spend
mm,
most of my time on? I tried to keep them both going for as long as I could. Yeah, but had to make that final decision. But I mean, now I see
mm,
that I still can get so many great things as a creative outlet in my job now,
mm,
that come from that, and that I still get to do photos all the time. So I take like 100 photos a day probably, but it's just on my phone. I still get to do my
mm,
editing, but it's more
mm,
I'm doing it on Canva. I'm making my little um, things for Instagram, and I'm making my reels for my clients and things as well. So I'm still getting the creative outlet that
mm,
I need from this job now. Now I'm creating works of art, through my training programs
mm,
rather than through taking the photo. It's like, okay, what's going to make this physique, you know, perfect? Oh, I need a little bit more rear delt exercises with this lady here. I need to put a little bit more hamstrings here to finish our product. We've got 6 weeks to go. We need to make this food change to create that perfect sculpture. So I see bodybuilding as and being bodybuilding as in creating my own physique and creating other physiques
mm,
as a really creative process that gives me a lot of joy.
mm. Wow. And again, looking at how what you've done in the past is contributing to that. Yeah. Because people often struggle, don't they, with that change of direction and moving from photography to embracing the fitness and the level to which you've taken it. Do you think also it was important in terms of focus? Like you said, you tried to keep them going for a while. Do you think that's enabled you to, because you've focused on the bodybuilding, that's enabled you to achieve at the level that you've achieved?
Yeah, well, I don't think if I didn't have all of the time that I've been able to create by, dropping that whole business,
Mm, mm,
then yeah, there's no way that I could have, I'll be able to get my coaching business to this point, and um, yeah, my physique as well. Like for me, I had to go like all in. So it's like,
yeah.
my passion began to be bodybuilding. And then from deciding to do that, I wanted to do bodybuilding, then I decided that I'd do personal training because I wanted to be in the gym, because I wanted to be a bodybuilder. So it wasn't, I was a personal trainer and then I wanted to do bodybuilding. It was, I do this job because I wanted to be a bodybuilder, and I want to make sure that this job is more flexible for being able to do my bodybuilding goals.
Mm,
But I still do. I still do some photography. I did a photo shoot for my sister and brother-in-law a few weeks ago. I was editing their photos just yesterday, actually. And when I'm doing that, I'm like, oh, I'd love to do more of this. And I'll do dribs and drabs, but
mm,
I'm not like doing paid paid work or anything like
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
there's, if I wanted to and if I had the time, like, yeah, I'd be able to make a good income
Mm.
at that for sure.
And it's always a one day I can go back to that.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what made it easier to
Mm.
step back from. It's like, well, I'm never going to lose the
Mm.
skills. Like when
Mm.
I went back onto Photoshop the other day, because I hadn't had Photoshop uploaded on my computer for about a year, it took me quite a long time to remember like all of the shortcuts and stuff. But once I'd edited the first 50 photos, the next 50 took me a fraction of the time because then it was just like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Never, what is it? Never say never, eh?
yeah.
And I think you and I talked about this a while ago, was this idea of chapters and phases in your life as well. And sometimes that makes it easier to make changes, doesn't it? Well, this I'm just moving into another chapter,
Yeah.
another stage of life. Going back to, the fact that you were doing PTing and coaching other people as well as competing yourself. What do you think are the challenges for you when you're doing your own training and you're working with other people? Because I've often thought, sometimes it can suck the joy out of your own training, when you're working it as well, and then you go to the gym to do your own training. Have you got any thoughts around that?
Um, well, I think like yes, it can affect my like work
Mm.
can always affect my training, but it depends what stage in training that I'm at as to what level of time that I'll commit to each thing.
Mm. Mm.
For example, um, earlier on last year, when I was quite a while out from my first show, spent the first three months of the year with more of a business building focus and
Mm.
making sure everything was in line there, spending a lot more time on that side of things. So there really wasn't enough time to do, 2 hours training a day, 5 days a week. So I made the choice that over that time, I was just going to do maybe like three training sessions a week, and that my priority was going to be more on spending more time building my business. We also launched our first mentorship
Mm.
last year, and when we were getting into that, we spent more time on that as well.
Mm.
So, yeah, it's just all depends on what the main priority is at the time.
Mm.
And then getting into the bodybuilding prep, as things get more serious,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, now I'm going to be more hardline with, my books are full.
Yeah.
No, no more, no more. This is because my training, I'll do that first thing in the day to make sure the first priority is having a really good training session, and that absolutely non-negotiable. So when I'm in comp mode, it's like right at the top. Nothing will change in my schedule for me to be missing a cardio or a training session from
Mm.
30 odd weeks out. And I mean, I'm at a pretty good position with my bodybuilding that I don't really need to gain much more muscle. It's
Mm.
more maintaining the shape that I've got now, and
Yeah.
maybe like a few areas I'd like to tweak. But my feedback is like, perfect as I am for the class. I've won universe. So if I was to go right now and do a 5 day training week focusing on build, then that's not going to fit with if I want to stay in the class that I'm in now.
Yeah.
So it's been some getting used to
Mm.
that side of things as well. But yeah, coming back around to that, yeah, in high focus mode last year from 30 weeks out. It's just, yeah, yes, getting in my what I needed to do in first still making sure I'm processing all of my responses, my check-ins all in time. I've let all of my clients know this is where I'm going to be on these days, trying to hold myself accountable to that so that I'm not overcommitting myself. However, that is quite tough to do because I do really love my job and I do really want to help these people. So trying to put those restrictions on myself was a bit tough.
Yeah.
So I did end up having to pull back on something else, which ended up being my presence on social media. And that saves
Mm,
me a whole lot of time and stress as well.
mm,
And that was a decision I made for, 3 or 4 months or something.
mm.
So depending on the season,
Yeah.
it's the
Yeah.
focus always changes, but now I'm in a different season. We've on our next mentorship. Now I'm trying to lead by example for the mentorship team. So my social media presence is extremely high, and my business focus is extremely high. I'm getting all of my planning done for the year. My training is not nowhere near as heavy and focused as when I'm in comp prep, but very, very high business focus and planning. And then into my next prep, I know everything would have been sorted at, earlier on in the year, tick all those boxes, and then I could, easily pull back again and be able to have more time for my training then.
Yeah. And I think it's really good for uh, people to hear the reality of, what you're doing and that it's not all smooth sailing, that you do
Mhm.
have these juggles, where you're going to have to put your focus when it's a comp, backing off a little bit because something else takes priority. Because we've been told a lot of lies, haven't we, that we should be able to do it all. And I mean, you're a mum as well. You're a wife, you've got a business and you're competing. And, it's that constant interplay between, where's my priority today? It could shift tomorrow and it could shift. And I love you talking about seasons as well, because that implies that nothing's ever the same.
Yeah.
Is that flow. And I guess something that's really hit me over the years, which I think is so useful, is the fact that you compete and you're training others and they are able to look at you and you are also able to be aware of what it means to be on stage because people do get trained, don't they, by people who haven't done it, who are, and what are your thoughts around that about what can you contribute to somebody who's going to be on stage because you've been there?
Um, well, yeah, definitely, especially when I've been on stage more recently, and more high frequency as well. Definitely a lot more aware on, really important actions that people should be taking because it's so much more in the front of my mind. So that's certainly really, really helpful. And because I'm going through a lot of these struggles as well myself, it's like, oh,
Mhm.
right, I'll make an ebook on that. Like I
Yeah.
made my reverse dieting ebook
Oh,
um,
wow.
the other week because yeah, there was just some things I was reflecting on, especially from last year, and one of my clients going into a show in 6 weeks' time. It came up in conversation a couple of weeks ago. Oh, what about post show? And yeah, I'm going to go into binge mode. Isn't that just what happens?
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, no, it isn't necessarily what is going to happen to everyone. Like there are
Mhm.
actions that we can take to avoid that,
Mhm.
and let's talk about it now. And we had quite an in-depth conversation about it. And afterwards, I was just like, okay, I've got like 9 people going on stage in that, well, it's 6 weeks now, but yeah, it was 8 weeks at the time. they need to be thinking about that now. So I made that with them in mind, and it gets that conversation going, so that, because so many people, they're going into show and they're only just thinking about the show day itself, and their mind doesn't shift too much past that. I have people come to me that have been with previous coaches, that have been left completely blind after show, or the coaching just ends at that point, and the coach has never told them that there is going to be some struggles afterwards, that there is, certain things that they need to be doing to be able to avoid, a huge range of problems. So, yeah, more people need to be aware of that for sure. So I want to talk about that side of things a lot more. And I've been through a lot of struggles myself coming out of certain shows, some more difficult than others. So I just want to be able to help people through that too.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, the other one that rears rears up is, being a mum, because there are a lot of women, aren't there, who are
Mm.
finding their feet and going, hey, I want to do something different with my life. And, you're able to speak to that as well, the challenges of competing, doing events, and having Litleys.
Yeah,
And that
yeah,
must be really supportive, because you have got quite a few clients, haven't you, with kids? Mm,
yeah. Yeah, plenty with kids, plenty with grandkids too.
mm,
I've got a lot of women. Yeah, yeah, perimenopausal, postmenopausal as well.
mm.
Um, yeah, so
And that was something I
yeah.
wanted to actually ask you, Amber, because I loved this line talking about, your clients, that you said it's about creating, you want to help women create the strongest version of themselves. And can you talk to that? Because you've obviously come from doing bikini and modeling to being the strongest version of yourself.
Mm. Well, the strongest version of yourself can, can come in a variety of forms,
Mm,
really.
mm,
Um, so it's not only being able to be strong and feel strong in the gym and, hit new personal bests, but, another strength could be being able to have the willpower to make the right decision in the moment that's going to avoid a negative outcome
mm,
coming up as well, or
mm,
being able to learn to have a discipline, being able to be disciplined over a long period of time,
mm,
and give up, a bunch of short-term happy rewards for that long-term happy rewards. So I think, um, bodybuilding is a really good outlet for that, and then that carries over into other areas of their life.
mm,
Once you can achieve something and create a physique that you never would have thought possible
mm,
before, what other things can you do that you've never thought possible before? What job could you go for that you've only dreamed of? You're maybe, if I get, the odd person, that, feels stuck in a difficult situation, that they haven't been able to be outspoken about because they haven't had the confidence to do so, or make a big move, a big life shift. And then I get that quite a lot. And then it'll be through the bodybuilding journey, I feel strong enough now, and I can do this. Yeah.
mm. I love it. And
Mm.
okay, bodybuilding is very visually obvious that you've achieved something, but as you say, the strength that comes from that process, tackling those challenges. Tackling another one is actually tackling people who just don't get it. People in your life, because when you stick up,
Mm.
when you start doing something crazy like this, it does challenge other people around you.
Yeah. And
So,
that's to be expected, though.
mhm.
Um, I think, mm, if I don't know where I was going to with that one.
It's the thing that I found, and I'm wondering if some of your clients have experienced it, is, like it's something that people just either get or appreciate or just think you're crazy. There's very little middle ground. It's, oh, okay, you're doing that. It's you're crazy or go for it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. People will understand eventually. I think it's to be expected that they're not going to understand to start with, because everything that you're doing seems so outlandish
mm,
to begin. So, if those people are to continue in your life, then you just have to explain to them that this is important to me because of these reasons. If they're
mm,
saying upsetting things to you about, oh, your food's disgusting, or you're crazy for doing this, or you're, don't lift any more weights because of, this reason, or you should look a certain way.
mm,
It's, being able to have the conversation with them to say, well, that's actually, I feel like that's hurtful. This sport is really important to me, and et cetera, et cetera. And then from there, they'll have a greater understanding, or they won't. And if they don't, see ya.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I think so anyway.
Well, I guess it ties into something that, I do with my clients is that alignment, isn't it? When you pick something that you're passionate about and you go for it, you often find the people that drop away are people that
Mm.
actually you weren't meant to be with anyway.
Mm.
And some of my clients have talked about, the people pleasing, and then they do something for themselves, like bodybuilding or getting fit or whatever. And people don't like that because it's something it gets going against what it's showing you up, isn't it? It's showing the other person up often. So yeah, I like that idea of, yeah, having the conversation and then it's up to them, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. And I think that also takes me back to that phases thing as well, stages in your life. You'll have different, yeah, different relationships through different stages. And when I'm in a different stage, then I'm going to relate more to people that are in that similar stage as I am at that point.
Yeah,
And then as things change and expand, then you make new relationships, and you
yeah,
end up gravitating towards people with similar goals, people that bring you up rather than pulling you down. And it's not that those people are necessarily bad people, that you don't end up staying in relationships with. It's just you don't have things in common so much anymore.
mm,
um, yeah, yeah. So it's interesting how things go. But yeah, now it's like, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So many, yeah, no, so many great people, so many strong people on, similar sort of journey as us as well. And I do my powerlifting as well. So
yeah,
know a lot of people in the powerlifting circles as well. And yeah, I often recommend some of my people focus on more of a strength focus during
mm,
the off season, and things like doing the powerlifting competitions can really help have some other goal to strive towards,
mm,
that's not so focused on what you look like.
yeah, yeah,
You feel good.
yeah. And you're just talking about the people dropping away and seeing
Mhm.
that. Something else that I think we struggle with generally is that the natural letting go. People come into your life often for a season, don't they? Or for a stage. And I've been guilty of this, where you try and keep the relationship going. Oh, I must ring so and so. Oh, I must talk to so and so. And I've started saying to myself, yeah, but why must you do it? It's a two-way thing. And often you're just trying to keep something alive that has actually faded because you've gone down one path and they're going down a different path. Yeah.
Yeah. Often happens, but then sometimes, you don't talk to someone for, almost a year, and then you see them and it's just like it was
Yeah.
yesterday. So I
Yeah.
don't think that necessarily if you haven't talked to somebody for a year, just because, over that time you haven't,
Mm,
had much to talk about with each other, or, life gets busy or distance takes you
mm,
away from each other. Yeah, sometimes it's just being able to be in the same room as that person that
mm.
you remember, oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of people I used to spend a lot of time with that, warm my heart. And when that we might not talk very often, but when we see each other, it's awesome.
And they say that's actually the sign, isn't it? When you can just pick up where you left off.
Yeah,
Because as you say, life is so crazy now. And in my case, I've thought, gosh, it might be 2 or 3 years for some people.
yeah,
Uh, and then you go, yeah, where did that time go? Um, but yeah, I have heard that expression that if you can pick up straight away, it's meant to be, isn't it?
yeah.
Amber, thank you so much for your time today. What a conversation. I'm just going to wrap up with something that I find really interesting is I've usually asked people, what is your one thing that you would recommend to somebody that has made a difference? It could be in your change in your career change, in your lifting, in your life. Is it an attitude? Is it a belief? I mean, your work ethic, I think, just shines out. But is there something that you think has kept you going, kept you
Mhm.
focused?
I think don't underestimate the power of the mind, and don't think that these things are going to come naturally to you. It's not just a matter of work harder.
Mm,
It's trying to, overcome conversations in your own head, and trying to learn the best way um, to combat that and bring out the best in yourself. And yeah, for me, it's being able to ask for help from other people, like yourself. We've
mm,
had so many sessions together where I've come to you for help and support into my competitions, with my business. We've got Chris and I have got business mentor Carly. Yep, she helps
mm,
us level up there. When I'm struggling with things, what to do at home, and some relationship stuff, kids, da da da.
mm,
Leaning on my mum for that, and
mm,
and reaching out to friends when you need help. So being able to acknowledge that you don't know everything, and
mm,
even if it seems maybe to other people that you're at the top of your game, there's always things that you can do to improve, and people that you can use to help you. I read quite a lot. I'm reading a book at the moment. It's about the what's it called, something my mountain. It's about self-sabotage. um,
oh, okay.
yeah, it's really good actually. I've only read about 15 pages or something, but it really speaks to me. So I've got like a bunch of different books that just help me get
Mm,
my thoughts into line, and get on top of any sort of negative self-talk.
mm.
Reaching out to help,
Yes.
getting a coach. That's another one.
Yeah.
Not going through your fitness journey alone.
Mm,
Yeah, so these are all kind of, well, it's like, you're a behavior coach.
mm.
Yeah, Carly's business coach. Mum's my family coach. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Love it.
Yeah,
And that's the truth, isn't it? And people just see somebody succeeding and they don't see the work behind the scenes. And that I love that fact that, yeah, we're not meant to do things alone,
yeah,
and asking for help is okay. And that's something that I've definitely personally had to get my head around. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, brilliant. Thank you for that, Amber. Thanks so much for your time. And yeah, watch this space.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, Kate.
Bye for now.
See ya.